Hello all, and I would love to come on here and talk good things. And hopefully this video works because my camera seems to be going crazy for some reason. But we'll see. We will attempt this and we will see what happens. But I would like to talk good things. I would like to talk about G1 because G1 has been awesome. If you haven't been watching G1, there's something wrong with you. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Not a bad show on period. But anyways, but what we do have is today the network, WWE Network's numbers were finally released. 700,000, not good. Really needed to be closer to probably another 150,000 for this to be anywhere near okay. Not the case, and so yeah. The big question, and this is one of the things you will notice, the comments have been disabled, and the reason for this is because I want to actually hear what people, most people don't even use the comment section anymore, and I really want to, try to do something that hadn't been done in a while, and actually get people to make videos and actually talk about, what they think is wrong with the network, what they would do to change the network, things that need to be added, maybe taken away, all of that, all the problems that they see with the network. And there's lots of them. I mean, you can go, there are numerous people who will talk about numerous problems. You've got the pay scale was messed up from day one as soon as they added WrestleMania. The fact that apparently if you do PayPal, which is much easier to unsubscribe from, you can basically cancel your subscription very easily from PayPal. There was no upfront $60 to pay for everything. So you've got all that, and it looks like they're going to attempt to fix that to some degree, where now you can sign up for for 1 month, and it's now $20 or $19.99, I believe, where you can just do an upfront $60 fee for 6 months. So it looks like they're trying to attempt to fix some of that. But and there's lots of other things. You've got the fact that I think you're allowed 5 or 6 viewers on your account at one time. That seems to be somewhat of a problem when people who understand this far better than me talk about it. You've got and then of course you have the content. So what I would really like is I'd like people to come on here and actually just talk about this stuff and talk about, do you like the network? What do you like about the network? If you don't like the network, have you tried the network? If you haven't tried the network, why haven't you tried the network? And actually get some, discussion going maybe on this. Actually get, some video responses going and that sort of thing. I will tell you what I think. And I think there's a there's lots of things I see wrong with the network. Starting with content that really makes you kind of wonder. The fact that we've had to wait so long for even nitros to be put up. Well, even before that, if you don't have the network, and so I will explain something to the people that don't have it or that don't understand this part. There's actually on the network there is a constant streaming kind of channel, and that basically is the channel version of the network. And the problem with that is that it's very inconsistent of what they show, when they show. There isn't like a true daily, weekly schedule of what they show. And that's a problem, because I think that needs to change. I think there needs to be, during Raw, they're going to, at whatever time of day, they're showing this. And it's always, this. It's either pay-per-views, it's some sort of special, they're showing, documentaries, maybe they're showing old TV shows, whatever, but they're showing these same things in the same slots all the time. I think if you're going to do that, you have to do that, and unfortunately that's not the way it is. It's very it's like the last minute they just throw a bunch of stuff up and go, okay, we got to fill up time. Instead of, okay, this day on this we fill up time with this, and with it, we do this. And I think it would also allow them to be a little bit more proactive in uploading things that, I mean, for example, we haven't gotten a new ECW or World Class in, forever. The fact that it would probably show them the type of stuff that people really want to see, too, a little bit. Then, of course, you got the what's not on the network. I'm really shocked that none of the WWE films are on the network. I know that seems weird, but I'm really kind of shocked they're not. That seems like something you just throw up as something different. The fact that I think right now, and this is probably some sort of contract thing, but if you go to Netflix, I think, and I haven't actually checked this, and I probably should have been on here, but if it's not, it's very close. The amount of WWE documentaries that Netflix has up is very close, if not more, than what WWE, the network, has up. And I think that's a problem. The fact that, you know, you got the Daniel Bryan and you got the Ultimate Warrior documentaries. I really think documentaries like that need to happen like once a month. They need, like, you know, like the Paul Heyman documentary. The Paul Heyman documentary should be a network exclusive documentary to make people, you know, buy the network. You know, DVD is dead. You know, I know we got DVD collectors still on here, and I know they're gonna get mad at me saying that, but it's dead and it's been dead. And well, I shouldn't say dead, but it's not what it once was. And streaming is where it's at. I don't know. You know, once a month they probably need to add up a new documentary. I think the fact that you know, they need to add a lot more of the documentaries up. I think that's one of the things a lot of people would want if you're not going to add the Raws and the Nitros and all of that. I think that's something that's very easy. And I think, what else do they need to add? You know, other than, you know, the normal stuff that everyone knows they need to add. But stuff like that. Also, you know, I think you need a new Legends Roundtable. I think that that's something that needs to happen weekly, is a new Legends Roundtable. I think the fact that, you know, you have JR and Steve Austin doing these podcasts where they could easily just do a sit-down interview show on the network. Pay them to do that. You know, why can't you do that? That would be something else that would, you know, both of them tape these programs out far enough in advance where it would be very easy, in my opinion, to say, you know what, why don't we just do video versions of these shows and, you know, really delve into it, you know, do 1 hour shows and really get in, you know, yes, you'd be getting a lot of WWE guys and maybe ex-WWE guys instead of kind of what you're getting now, but it would still be some. I think that is more along the lines of what people would really like, and that's not what you're getting. You know, all the pay-per-views are up, but there's still so much TV missing. There's so much, you know, there's so much stuff that could be on the network that's not there, and you know, and then you got the pay-per-views themselves, the live pay-per-views. The fact of the matter is that, you know, if this is the route you're going to go, why not pull the pay-per-views down to 8? And then, you know, to try to make the 8 pay-per-views mean more than the 12 that you're doing now, and in place of those 4 that you dropped, use the NXT shows in those places where you're not spending as much money. You're probably getting a little bit more bang for your buck, maybe, and kind of go from there and make these events that people want to watch. I mean, that's what pay-per-views are supposed to be. They're supposed to be events. They're not supposed to be, you know, which they are now, undoubtedly, especially since Raw went to 3 hours. These pay-per-views are basically pay-per-views with, I don't want to say no commercials, because the pay-per-views even have commercials on them, but very little commercials. And there's just not as much stuff there. You know, and those are the problems I see, and I'm sure there's people, you know, that understand this stuff far more than me, that probably understand it, you know, that get it, that have talked about it to a lot more people. Like I said, that's wrong with any comments. If you want to, you know, add, then, you know, do a video response and let's try to get some, I don't know if dialogue is right, but just get a lot of voices talking about a lot of things and see if anything resonates and that sort of thing. Just as because the network is important. It's important to WWE. I mean, to the point where, because they haven't hit the numbers they want, they're getting rid of, you know, the actual WWE staff, not the wrestlers, but the actual, you know, the corporate staff. They're dropping. I think they're getting rid of 7%. I heard 10%, so maybe they've gotten rid of 7 already. They're getting ready to get rid of another 3%. And downsizing, they're already talking about, you know, cutting things so that they can get, you know, the it to make more money at a lower subscription rate, which I don't think anybody wants to see that. So I would love to hear some more ideas. I'd love to hear people just actually come on here and, you know, do what we used to do back in the day. But anyways, that is it. So with that, I'm out. I hope this worked. Later.